Thich Nhat Hanh, The Art of Living, Mindful Techniques for Peaceful Living from one of the world's most revered spiritual leaders. Discover the essence of mindfulness and inner peace with Thich Nhat Hanh's insightful book, The Art of Living. The book delves into concepts such as the interconnectedness of all living beings, the continuous nature of existence, and finding peace through stillness. This summary will uncover the key takeaways, including the importance of embracing impermanence, overcoming cravings, and facing suffering to carve a path towards a fulfilling life. With Thich Nhat Hanh's guidance, learn to develop a profound understanding of both yourself and the world around you.
The teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings emphasize mindfulness and inner peace. He encourages readers to appreciate the simple moments in life and find beauty in everyday tasks. Through meditation and mindful breathing, Hanh argues that individuals can attain inner happiness and reduce the stress and anxiety caused by the modern world. He also discusses the interconnectedness of all individuals and the environment, stressing the importance of compassion and understanding. Overall, Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings offer a unique perspective on finding joy and peace in life through mindfulness and compassion. The interconnectedness of life. A flower is made up of much more than just its visible parts, and humans are no different. We are interbeings, a combination of elements from sources that exist across time and space. Our ancestors, environment, education, and culture all shape who we are. It is impossible to exist independently. Even Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh's students embody pieces of him, despite not being genetic children. Remembering our interconnectedness can bring comfort and help us recognize our place in the world. We are not alone, we are part of the living, breathing cell that is our world. The myth of birth and death. Signs and existence beyond them. When we see a cloud disappear from the sky, we assume it no longer exists. But, in reality, it has merely transformed into something else, just like energy, which follows the law of thermodynamics and cannot be destroyed or created, only change form. Signs help us identify and label things in the world, but they don't represent existence entirely. Birth and death are signs we use to define life, but they merely mark dates on a calendar. We have always existed and will continue to do so beyond birth and death. Before we were born, we existed in our ancestors, and after we die, we transform into something else. Our lives are a continuous transformation, just like the cloud that becomes rain. Death is not negative, but it triggers a birth of a new way of being. Death is what makes life possible. It is the fear of death that causes anxiety and sorrow, but it's essential to recognize that existence goes beyond signs. Thinking of life as a continuous transformation helps overcome the fear of death. Pain is present at birth too, but it makes the pain tolerable. The knowledge of something new beginning keeps us going. Eventually, we'll recognize the new state of existence after death. When we liberate ourselves from anxiety and sorrow, we see the world as a rich tapestry of existence. The wonder of being present. Our pursuit of goals robs us of the peace and joy of the present moment. Aimlessness, grounded in the here and now, stills our minds and opens us up to the wonder of being alive. By being present, we are motivated by compassion and understanding, rather than fear or greed. Our modern-day pursuit for success, love, health, and even altruistic acts is a reflection of our ancestors' impulse to hunt for survival. The desire for a better future consumes us entirely, sacrificing the wonders of the present. However, the peace we seek is already available to us, and by engaging with the present, we can experience it right now. The key message of this book's summary is that peace is born of stillness. To be in a constant state of wanting and rushing to achieve something hinders us from experiencing the joy of being alive. Actively grounding ourselves in the moment through aimlessness, a Buddhist technique, frees us from the anxiety to obtain something and enables us to engage deeply with the present. To be present means being motivated by compassion and understanding rather than fear or greed. By paying attention to our surroundings, we restore the energy lost in busyness and allow our wisdom and compassion to grow. In this awakened mindset, we become capable of feeling at peace in the present moment, increasing our quality of life and the lives of those around us. Embracing impermanence. The concept of impermanence is a blessing that we must embrace. Change is inevitable, and it has the potential to open doors to happiness. Impermanence is not just physical but also applies to thoughts and feelings. As our inner selves are constantly evolving, we need to nourish positivity and weed out negativity to cultivate and grow. Accepting impermanence can help us appreciate the present moment and find the courage to face difficult emotions. Without change, progress and growth cannot occur. Embracing impermanence brings about positive change and makes us better versions of ourselves. Freeing yourself from cravings. We must let go of our cravings to regain freedom and contentment. Cravings are like fish bait, we can't see how deeply they hook us, and they ultimately cause suffering. To break free from this pattern, we must pinpoint our cravings, explore whether they have a dangerous hook, and reflect on their impact. Understanding the suffering they cause is often enough incentive to let them go. The fear for our survival that we had as infants stays with us, causing us to seek out relationships to feel less alone. But if these relationships are not rooted in love, they lead to even more isolation. Cravings never fulfill us, and we are always left wanting more, which means we never value life in the present moment. Embracing pain for healing. Face your pain to find healing and live fully in the moment. Distractions block us from acknowledging and feeling our pain, but by reflecting on priorities and exploring pain through various methods, we can free ourselves and start the healing process. When a baby cries, a mother comforts and holds them, easing their suffering. Our pain is like that baby, crying out for comfort. But instead of acknowledging and tending to our pain, we distract ourselves with busyness, phones, work, and cravings. The only way to heal is by embracing our pain. We must face our suffering to live fully in the moment. Healing is transformative, but it can only happen by being present and looking honestly at our pain, which can be difficult when we're overwhelmed by circumstances or feelings. We may be trapped by work, a hectic lifestyle, sorrow, anger, or a neglected relationship. To begin the healing process, we must meditate on what's blocking us from being in the moment and reflect on our priorities. Is what's holding us back more important than living deeply? By acknowledging and feeling our pain, we can free ourselves from distractions and move toward healing. There are many ways to embrace pain, such as writing, drawing, or listening to music. Thich Nhat Hanh, for example, writes poetry to explore his pain or recalls positive memories that bring him comfort. Through these methods, we can remind ourselves that the world is still filled with wonder, even in moments of suffering. Understanding Nirvana. Nirvana, a term often associated with death, is often misunderstood. Western Buddhist scholars have defined nirvana as the eternal death that occurs after the final cycle of reincarnation. However, this definition is not aligned with the Buddha's teachings. Nirvana is the pleasant feeling you experience when your afflictions are eased, like the relief you feel after you extract a thorn from your foot. It's not a prize you get when life ends. It's a state available to everyone, every day. The book states that nirvana is not a destination that you can reach after death. Instead, it's a state of life that can be experienced in small doses throughout your day. The book explains that recognizing the continuity of all existence is a great way to reach this state. By meditating on the world from the perspective of continuous being, one can let go of the limitations of signs like life and death, knowing that they don't represent reality. This will bring you peace. It further emphasizes that nirvana is not a reward. Everyone, enlightened or not, can experience it. Moreover, suffering is inevitable, so it's necessary to face it and use meditation to transform it. By transforming these difficult feelings through meditation, one can experience peace. This state is nirvana. The book highlights the teachings of Buddha and his personal experiences after he attained enlightenment. He was still human and experienced pain, hunger, cold, and fatigue. However, he was able to reach nirvana because he knew how to handle his suffering. When you do the same, you'll reach nirvana too. The book concludes that with suffering, comes awakening. When you look into the heart of your suffering and change its fire into sweet relief, you enter nirvana.
Thich Nhat Hanh's The Art of Living offers profound wisdom on mindfulness, interconnectedness, and the eternal nature of existence. Through the exploration of themes such as impermanence, cravings, and suffering, readers can gain insights into finding inner peace and experiencing nirvana in daily life. Embrace the truth that personal transformation is a continuous journey, and by acknowledging our role as interbeings, we can cultivate a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. Embodying these principles throughout everyday activities will ultimately lead to a more fulfilling and peaceful life.